Hi, welcome to my tutorial on creating maps inside ArcMap. Let's see what we are learning today. First of all, we will learn about the definition of a map, its types and common elements. Then we will learn about ArcMap views and jump into ArcMap to create map practically. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's see what is a map. Maps are primary tools by which spatial relationships and geometric data are visualized. It is a form of communication. There are many different types of maps. Some of them are more used and others are less used. Let's see some of the map types with their examples. A political map is a map which shows the state and national boundaries of a place. A physical map shows the landscape features of a place. It shows things like mountains, rivers, and lakes. Topographic map is similar to physical map in a sense that it shows different physical landscape features, but it is mostly focused on the height of the landscape and represents it with contour lines. Climatic maps shows information about the climate of an area. Economic or resource map shows the specific types of economic activity or natural resources. Road map is very widely used. It shows major highways, roads, and other things. Thematic map focuses on a particular theme or specific topic. There are many other types of sophisticated maps. Let's learn about the elements of a map. Most maps contain the same common elements. They are map title, map body, north sign, legend, scale bar, coordinate system, inset map, and index map. Now let's learn about them in a bit detail. The map title reflects the subject of the map. It is important to include because it tells us what things you may be able to know about the map. The topic of the map is shown by the map title. Map body is the map itself. Other elements provide supplementary info to understand the map body. A north sign is a map's orientation which is showing the relationship between the directions shown on the map versus compass direction in reality. It is better kept as it is, which is north sign up. Legend is also known as a key. It explains any symbols used in the map. Scale bar is important because this is the one that relates a single map distance unit to a corresponding distance in the real world. By coordinate system, here it is meant that the elements inside the map should be identifiable on the surface of Earth. Inset map is a smaller map featured off to the side or in a corner of the map. Inset maps typically show a specific area of the map on a larger scale, giving more detail or adding emphasis to an area of interest. There may be many other things that can be included, but the common ones are important to know. Let's learn about the views inside ArcMap. ArcMap provides two ways to view a map, the data view and layout view. Each view lets you look at and interact with the map in a specific way. Data view is an all-purpose view for exploring, displaying, querying the data on the map. In layout view, we can see virtual spaces. In layout view, we can see virtual page showing all the map elements and data frames. So both is needed to make a good map. Now let's jump into ArcMap. As we already know, there are two views in ArcMap. They are the data view and layout view. Here, after opening the GIS, the view we are currently in is the data view. We can click here to get into the layout view. We can see that the layout view shows us a preview of paper on which we can place various map elements. Now we can see our data is previewed in a rectangular box inside the paper. This is the data frame we are currently working with. I suggest you to open the page and print setup before doing anything in the layout view. Here is this panel. We can change the page size and its borders. Now I am selecting A4 paper for our map. We can see that there is a ruler on top and left of the preview window. We can use those to add some guides inside the map area. Those guides can be used as snapping helper for the element inside the map. I am adding a 0.5-inch guides all over the map so I can snap the data frame to the guides. It looks better that way. Currently, our map has only a data frame. Now, if we print this map, it will be very vague to the audience because there is no reference to the scale, no reference to the coordinates, no explanation of what the map means. So, we must provide the information in order to make the map sensible for the audience. At first, let's add a title. From the insert menu, we can add a title. Let's name it as example map. We can double click on the example map text to open the properties. Then we can click on change symbol button to get extra option for formatting the text. I am changing the font to Times New Roman and bolding it. We can similarly add many other texts like simple text and dynamic text. Dynamic text are automated text that is part of the map document. Now before the legend I want to show you about north sign, a scale bar and scale text. Let's add the north sign. It is suggested to add a north sign which is simple and clear. I am choosing ESRI North 2 for this map. We can position it wherever we want and scale it up and down like this. Next, let's add the scale bar. I am using the default one. It is suggested that the scale bar will show a whole number. It helps in better understanding of the overall scale of the map. We can scale the map scale bar horizontally to make it such size that the number at the last becomes a whole number. To change more properties of the scale bar, we can double click on it to open the properties window. In the scale and units tab, we can change the units. For example, we can change the division units to kilometers from miles. We can see that we have a fraction in the scale bar again. We can scale it down again. To add or remove the numbers in between, we can change the subdivisions in the properties window. Also, we can change the font and colors of the scale bar from other types of properties window. I am leaving it as it is. We can also add a scale text if we want, but as I have a scale bar, I am not going to add a scale text in the map. Now let's talk about the legends. We can add legends from the same insert option. In the legend wizard, we can add some elements or layers in the legend items, or we can remove them. Let's choose next because I want to just add the legend now and change the properties later as I want. Now we have a legend in our map. It is very simple because symbology of the layers currently visible in the data frame is also simple. The structure layer is showed in only one color. The road poly is showed in another one color. Let's change the structure layer symbology. We can classify the structures layer based on their area. Now I am removing the borders because it looks better without borders. Then if we apply the changes, we can see that the legend is also changed. It reflects the currently shown elements and their symbols in the legend. If we want to change the labels used for the different classified structures based on the area, we can change it in symbology tab again. Besides the range, there is a label column and we can change it however we want to set the values inside the legend. Let's now see how to make an inset map. For that, we have to add a new data frame. From the insert menu, I am going to add a new data frame. Now, there is a rectangle added in the map which is empty. This is because the new data frame does not have any layers in it. Let's drag and drop administration boundary layer inside the data frame. Now it is showing inside here. Let's change the symbology of the administration boundary layer. If we apply, we can see that the inset map shows word 8 and 9 as darker color. Now if we want to add the coordinates in the data frame, we can do so by opening the properties of the data frame. Then in the grid tab, we can click on new grid to add a new grid. Let's just add a new grid with its default values. Then we can change it later with properties option. I don't like to show the lines inside data frames, so in the lines tab I am choosing do not show lines or ticks. On the interval tab we can choose 45 minutes to space out the grid lines even further. Also inside the labels tab we can label left and right coordinates vertically. It looks beautiful and saves space. Maps represent information about the world in simple visual way, but For the communication to be successful, we have to make things clear for the audience about what means what. I hope today you learned something new. See you in the next tutorial.